Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do an update for my THOSE eyeshadows. I've been working on this all year and this is my update for the month of September to October time. And what I've been doing is focusing on one palette for the month and also 5 different shades, and obviously the goal is to pan them, but I do have a usage goal, so if I hit 20 uses then I do roll out. And we do have a change today, which is exciting. It's not the most exciting update, but we do have a change, so that is good. So let me start with the eyeshadow palette that I've been focusing on. This is the Technique Days palette from Beauty Bay, and my goal was to use it 5 times and use every single shade at least once, which I have done. And I will put up on the screen what it looked like before. It was pretty much brand new when I rolled it in, and now you can see obviously what it looks like. I also put how many times I used each shade, but yeah, it's a beautiful palette. It is a companion palette. It's not a palette that I, at this point in the year, would use on its own. Definitely more for spring, summertime, but I didn't pick it up in spring, summertime, so picked it right at the tail end of summer, and yeah, I'm just playing around with it now. The shimmers are beautiful. I love Beauty Bay shimmers, so, you know, everything about it has been a pleasure to use, and I actually do have this shade on today. I have a lot of green on today. It's not my favorite look, I will give you that. I am just trying to use some shades in some projects, but yeah, it is definitely not my favorite look. But I do have this on the like middle part of my lid. It's beautiful. I love this palette. It's on sale at Beauty Bay, so if you haven't picked it up yet and you want these colors and you like Beauty Bay quality, then I would say go for it. Okay, so let's start with the shade that I've had in the project the longest, and it is a shade that I'm going to be rolling out, which is pretty exciting. So I've been working on a shade in the Whatever palette from Colourpop. I've been working on this shade, Not Okay. As you can see, there is no pan in here, but I have used it a total of 20 times now in the last 4 months. It has been around for a long time. I used it 6 more times this month to hit my 20 usage. I knew pretty much when I rolled it in that it was a shade that I was not going to hit pan on. It's just really, really pigmented. It is one of these metallic shades and you really don't need a lot. But I feel like this month I've made a pretty good dent in terms of what it looks like. I did use it as a liner a couple of times, so I used a brush, and that is why it looks a little bit different. But normally I would just use my finger. It's a beautiful shade. It's not my preference in terms of the color that I usually go for. It is a pretty strong orange. Pretty Halloween-y orange, I would say. So kind of perfect for this time of year. But yeah, I'm actually going to be rolling it out. So that is really, really exciting. So this one is going to be rolling out. I've used it exactly 20 times now in 4 months. That is enough. I'm a little bit sick of this, to be honest. It's a nice, decent palette, but very, very warm tone. And when I was working on it, I wasn't very interested in warm tones. Okay, the next shade that I'm going to be talking about has been in the project 3 months now. And it is from my Jackie Aina palette from ABH. And it is the shade Shakenington right here. And as you can see, still no pan. I've used this 2 times this month. This one has been hard to use, I have to say. I just am not a fan of it. However, I don't think I'm gonna have to hit 20 uses. I think I'll hit pan before I hit 20 uses. I've only used this in total in the project 5 times. And it already looks like this. I have a pretty good dent in it already. So I have a feeling, let me just hide myself so it focuses. I have a feeling that, I don't know, it's going to show pan before I hit the 20 uses, which is really, really exciting. So yeah, that one is staying in, much to my dismay, because it's just not a shade that I particularly like. It's got this darkness to it. It's not one of these beautiful bright shimmers, and that's usually what I like in shimmers. It's got a little bit of a blackness to it, so I've actually used it to deepen out looks a little bit, and that's really the only thing I've used it for, because you can see it's got a lot of black. All right, next up we have the Chilling in Chicago. I've been working on the shade Magnificent, which is another shimmer. And as you can see, still no pan in it. I am really trying to hit pan in these shades, but it's just not going well for me. So this one I've used 4 times this month. I've been working with it along with the Whatever shade, the Not Okay shade, because this one again is very warm toned and it goes pretty well with that orange shade, but I have not used my I've not hit my 20 use goal yet. So this one is staying in as well. It's pretty, but it's not my favorite. I really like this palette, but it's definitely not my favorite shimmer in the palette, unfortunately. But I feel like, just given the fact that it has a pretty good dent now, that I could hit pan maybe for next time. I think I will, just like the Shakenington shade, I think I'll hit pan before I hit the 20 use goal. This one I have used 8 times in total. So yeah, I think, you know, I think I should be able to hit pan before 12 more uses. What do you think? Yeah, I think I can do it. Okay, so the next 2 shades are rolled in last month. I'll start with the Natasha Denona from the Retro palette. This is the shade Andy, and it is one of these cream to powder shades right here, and you can see there is a nice decent dent in it. This one I've only used 3 times, but I do feel, I do feel like I'm going to hit pan in it before the 20 uses. Much like the Vivian shade over here, I tend to go through these pretty fast, and I don't know, I think 1 more month of this and I will definitely hit pan. So I think this one will be rolled out next month. It's a beautiful sort of starting shade, transition shade, like base shade. It's just a lovely muted mauve color right there. So I do like it. This has been a pleasure. As always, this palette is very nice to use. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to those 3 shades, and so far I'm just rolling out this shade. And then the last shade I've been working on is from my Club Nebula palette, and this is the shade Celestial. This one I have used 4 times. It's looking like this right here, and yeah, still no pan in it, as you can see. Obviously don't have the 20 uses because I just rolled it in last month. Again, I feel like I could hit pan in this before the 20 uses is up. So if I play my cards right, I could have 4 pans coming to you very, very soon. This is obviously just sort of an interim month. You know, yes, I'm rolling the shade out because it's been in for 4 months and I hit 20 uses, but all of these other ones, I actually feel like I have a chance to hit pan in. So it's not all doom and gloom, but there's not a huge amount of update this month. So what does that mean? I need to roll in a new shade for this one, and I am not going to be rolling in a focus palette for this month. If you saw my Project Level Up intro that I posted a few days ago, I'm actually starting that very, very late in the year, and I decided because I'm starting that, I'm no longer going to have a focus palette for my Pan Those Eyeshadows. I think it's getting a little bit too much. Don't want to feel overwhelmed. I am using a lot of palettes all at once, and I think if I kept a focus palette for my Pan Those Eyeshadows and started the Project Level Up, I wouldn't be able to do it for my own sanity. So I've decided to remove the focus palette from Pan Those Eyeshadows for the rest of the year. I might carry that on for next year. We'll see how it goes. Just want to give myself a little bit of a breather since I am going to do that project. So right now I'm really just going to only roll in 1 new shade because I do want to keep 5 shades in this project. Alright, so I decided to use Tiny Decisions. I added all my eyeshadow palettes in here apart from 2, which I have yet to tell you about, so I'm waiting about that. But let me just see what palette is picked. I also have single shadows in here as well, so if a single shadow is picked, that will make my life much easier. Okay, this is the Donna Sand Haze. I'm going to re-roll just simply because I had just had this in my Shop My Stash, and I want to pick something new, or at least a palette that I haven't used recently. Okay, Colourpop Wild Child. Ooh, oh no, ooh. All right, let's see. Alright, so here is the Wild Child from Colourpop. I actually had this as a focus palette at the beginning of the year for my Pan Those eyeshadows, but I wasn't trying to hit pan on anything. So this is what mine is looking like. We'll go do the random number generator 1 through 9 and see which one I get. I really hope that I get one that I can pan, because Colourpop is very hard to pan and it's just, ugh, I'm not a fan of this palette. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not a fan. All right, so let's do this. 1 through 9, 49. Why does it, what is that? There you go, 9. Okay, it always goes to 49 for some reason. All right, 9 is this last shade right here. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm gonna keep this in because it's good to have a deepening shade. And I don't want to cheat. But this is very dark. This is very dark. The other reason I'm actually keeping this in is because it goes with this time of year. I am doing more neutral looks. I'm doing more warm tone looks, and I could easily use this with a lot of looks that I've been doing. So that is the reason why I'm going to be keeping it in, but I'm not happy about it because this is going to be a 20 use one and then I'll roll it out, because it is one of these mattes that is not super powdery. It is very, very finely pressed and very pigmented, so you don't use a lot of it. And I don't do my eyebrows. Like, I could easily, if I was somebody who did my eyebrows, this might be a decent shade for me, but I don't do that, so it's not going to be, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I'm not super happy. All right, so that is the color story that I'm going to be working with now. As I said, all 4 of these shades, I do feel like I have a chance of hitting pan in all of them. So that is really exciting if I can do that. I think by next update, the most realistic one really would be Andy and potentially Magnificent from the Chilling in Chicago. I'll try to do Shakenington, but I've only been using it like once or twice a month, so it really depends on how many times I use it. But Magnificent and Andy I can definitely use more times. Celestial I think will be a little bit harder to pan, not because I won't use it, but because it is very beautiful, it's very sheer, and I wouldn't use a huge amount of it when I do use it. So it's not gonna get like a dip, it's just like an overall, because I just use my finger with it. And this one, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully I just use a lot of it and I get lucky, I don't know. But that is my update from the Pan Those eyeshadows. Not a very, very exciting one, but hopefully next month I might have a pan or 2. Fingers crossed. All right, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.